Hello and welcome to Boomer Live once again, ladies and gentlemen. As we are here, India have won against New Zealand finally after 20 long years in an ICC tournament. And not just that, India remain unbeaten at the end of the five games at top of the table as well. It was a tricky game for sure, where top two teams were up against each other. India were put in a spot of bother through the middle of the chase, but once again it had to be chase master Virat Kohli and Ravindra Jadeja, who had an unfinished business from 2019, had to finish the game off against New Zealand. So it was all there in this game. You saw a run out against New Zealand. You saw Ravindra Jadeja trying to get India off trouble again, and everything was there. And Virat Kohli masterclass as well. And Mohammad Shami, a baller we all wanted from the start of the World Cup, is back. And boy, wasn't he back with a bang. 5-wicket haul. Can you drop him now? That's the biggest question. Would you drop him for a Shardul Thakur or not? I think he has answered it, and he's answered it in a most beautiful way by winning the man of the match as well. Jaren, a game which you wanted to see from Indian team in terms of testing all bases. India were tested in terms of a lot of things. India's fielding was slightly sloppy, but Shami, man, I mean, he was brilliant today. And just add Virat Kohli and Ravindra Jadeja finishing as well. A lot of boxes tick today, after all.
Oh yeah, I mean, you'd have to just say that today was a very smart selection. I have to say from Rohit Sharma, to bring in Surya Kumar Yadav for someone like Hardik Pandya, and then to bring in Mohammad Shami, because the idea was to come as close as possible to what Hardik Pandya would provide. And when it comes to someone like Shardul Thakur, he's not exactly a baller who will get you wickets like Hardik Pandya does. So it was pertinent to bring in a Mohammad Shami, because you really can't look at a Shardul Thakur as your third seamer, especially when you only have five bowling options. So that was a very smart move. And then to bring in Surya Kumar Yadav as well. So that just, kind of brought the team closer to the balance, if that's the best way to say it. But yeah, it was very smart selection from Rohit Sharma. And then to just hats off to Mohammad Shami. He came in a situation where, of course, India were bowling really well. But, that second wicket, we were just waiting for the second wicket to come in the power play, and then he came in and he got that wicket. And then again, when India needed wickets after that 40th over, he came again. He rose his hand and he got those wickets for us. So brilliant bowling. It was at a point in time, whatever Rohit needed, it was Mohammad Shami was right there.
Absolutely. I mean, one factor which we are not talking about enough is the last 6 overs, where India just considered 27 odd runs, and India managed to pull things back in a way which nobody thought. India could have easily considered 300 odd in this wicket, and that could have been even more tougher run chase for India, because scoreboard pressure does kick in, especially when you are conceding 300 and you're chasing 300 odd, because New Zealand did ball very well. More than that, New Zealand's fielding was top notch once again. They could have possibly saved close to 25, 30 runs there. And that was the difference. That's always the difference when you play against New Zealand. They showed once again why they are the best fielding unit in the world. But let's talk about India's bowling to start out with, and the fielding. I mean, if India would have caught those 2 to 3 catches, maybe we could have restricted them 250 or maybe even 220 there. That 50 runs which we gave to Daryl Mitchell and Rachin Ravindra could have come to bite back really bad, it doesn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, especially I think the ones that we gave away to Rachin Ravindra, because you just felt like that was the easiest catch there, and India were right at the top at that point in time. If the third wicket had fallen just then and there, you probably would have seen New Zealand crumble to a 170, 180, like Kapil says. And I mean, in many ways, both the teams, right? Even New Zealand made a lot of mistakes in the field. So I think overall there were mistakes from both the teams, but at the same time, it's a very tight match. It was a match you see was worthy of the table toppers. Both the teams made their fair share of mistakes, but then they also did make their own comebacks. New Zealand, after coming back from that paltry score of 39 for 2, I think, in the power play, and then to go on build a very good middle overs innings. And again, India made a comeback. Then India did a very good job in the power play. Then New Zealand makes a comeback in the middle overs, and then again the last 8 overs, India manages to wrestle back whatever control they had let go of. So it was that kind of a match. I think there was a lot of pressure as well on both the teams, because I think this is turning out to be a match which always ends up making history for some reason. And today as well was very close to Virat Kohli's 49th one-day century. But I think there was pressure on both the teams to maintain that momentum. And I think that's the reason why a lot of mistakes came in, because both these teams were doing extremely well in the field till today. And there were some very good moments from both the teams in the field. But yeah, I think a lot of mistakes as well.
Yeah, true. That's very right in terms of point. But I think to an extent, to be very honest, the outfield also did play a part in today's game in terms of players were reluctant to put their body on the line. I felt because
Hmm.
they had that in their mind that if they dive and if they get injured, that could be detrimental for their team, and that's something which every player will have in their mind. But I don't. That doesn't mean that you can't catch the sitters which comes in your way. When those are areas which India would want to improve. Vidal's 95 will be remembered as such a 98. Vidal was 98 was very special, but this 95 is worthy of 100. It's very disappointing that Virat did not get to another 100. But let's talk about the batting, right? Once Lockie Ferguson came into ball, he picked up those openers, and India were under pressure. And then Mitchell Santner coming into ball and picking up wickets here off KL Rahul against a run of play. Shreyas Iyer falling to a short ball again. India's middle order did look like slightly jittery, and it was tested. Let's be very honest. They were a quality bowling attack, and you expected them to be tested, and rightfully so. It was tested, and once again, Virat Kohli was the one who stood tall, chase master as they call him. He deserved possibly 100 or probably 100 in a big stage like this. It would have been only fitting that Virat Kohli should have gotten to 100. India would have won this match.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think I've never been. For me, I'm not someone who is for milestones at all. And 100 is 100. It's great to see that kind of performance, or a 5 wicket haul is great. But I think for the first time ever in some time, I was disappointed that Virat did not get to that 100 because he just deserved it. What he did was just amazing. To stand his ground when everyone else was falling around him. Surya Kumar Yadav run out. Those kind of moments, really throw a player off their momentum, off their thought process. But and you felt like Virat Kohli was dejected because, I mean, yeah, yes, it was a brilliant move by Mark Chapman. I mean, what a moment where you just understand all of a sudden that okay, if you get up and you throw, there's a chance that they might just recover. I think it was Mark Chapman not getting up and just pushing the ball to Trent Bolt that threw Virat Kohli off. I think otherwise he would have taken that run. But because he, did not throw the ball by standing up like what Glenn Phillips did later on with Jadeja, I think that's where Virat Kohli just kind of got thrown off. And then, of course, Trent Bolt once again just rolling the ball instead of again getting up and trying to throw the ball. So that was New Zealand's street smartness, much more than I think Surya Kumar Yadav and Virat Kohli's mistake. Of course, there was a little bit of mistake there, but he survived all that. And it was not a Virat Kohli's innings, because he struggled a lot at the start. Tom Latham was very clever today with his field placement. He had a short mid on and a short cover fielder because he did not want Virat Kohli to tap in and get singles. That is the one thing that he did not allow Virat Kohli. So many times ball reached Glenn Phillips' hands, or I think Daryl Mitchell also stood at that I think square of the off stump region, so that even if he tries to play the square drive, it goes straight to the fielder. So they made sure he was not given his singles. It was not at all an easy innings for Virat, and he played a lot of dots today. Even then, he did not throw away his wicket. That was just brilliant. I think in many ways you'd have to also credit New Zealand, right? They brought it so close. Just 5 extras able. India gave away 15 in 300 balls, and you would say that's a good effort. But 5 extras when you've bowled close to what 288 deliveries, phenomenal bowling from New Zealand. And I think towards the end there was a lot of dew as well. Did not matter. They
Yeah.
just kept bowling the right line and length. So I think India just about squeezed because of how much. I mean, that's the reason why he deserves that man of the match as well.
Truly, well and truly. But you're right in pointing out captaincy of Tom Latham, especially the left arm spinners. You knew that Virat Kohli has had his struggles with the left arm spinner. He did bring in Santner the moment he walked in, and that was the way of applying pressure. And Santner was beautifully bowling against Virat Kohli. He did apply the breaks at a point of stage. Virat Kohli was 5 of 18, and you felt like this could slightly be not a Virat Kohli kind of a day because he tends to play a shot from there on and try to fall for a cheap dismissal. Even Rachin Ravindra was trying to beat out Virat Kohli's edge on a couple of occasions. And it's all because of New Zealand's fielding as well. They did not give away anything away in the inner circle. They made sure those singles were stopped. They were putting their body online. And that's why I personally think they've saved close to 25, 30 runs. And if those runs would have been scored, maybe India would have had an easier chase. But that also added pressure on Indians. If you remember, the moment those singles were not scored, Indian batters were getting frustrated. They were trying to take a risk, and that's where you felt like someone like Rohit Sharma as well fell. There were some brilliant fielding efforts there, and Rohit Sharma had to take a risk, trying to chase a wide ball. And similarly with Shubman Gill as well, that over leading into that, there were enough pressure which was built up by Mitchell Santner. I thought Mitchell Santner was outstanding today. I know he just picked up 1 wicket, But let's just give him credit. I mean, he's been the spinner of the tournament to watch out for. His spin variations, the pace variation, him trying to drop his pace to 70s, 77s, and then trying to put a ball up at 85 odd and 95 odd, and him trying to use the crease both for left-handers and right-handers. And he's given a spin bowling masterclass for this World Cup to remember.
Oh yeah, I mean, we all expected, this World Cup. I think that's one thing about India as well. You see, finger spinners extract a lot more in India than leg spinners. That's, I mean, it's not to say that leg spinners are not successful in India. That's not what I mean to say. It's just the kind of wickets we have in the subcontinent. You see, finger spinners get more, right? Because you want bowlers who fizz off the wicket, who ball into the wicket a lot more and try and extract turn, and that's what finger spinners do. So Mitch Sandon, I think what he's done brilliantly is he's rightly said it. When he said that he's watched Jadeja, and he's really learned watching Jadeja, because he does not move away from the stumps, and you rarely see him move away from the stumps. Keeps hitting those three stumps. Asks the batter to produce the pace in his deliveries. He will not give you anything away. No width, no pace. You have to manufacture shots. And today he just gave away 37 runs in 10 overs. He's the only spinner that balled 10 overs for them. And also the only one bowler aside from Trent Bolt, who balled 10 overs. So just shows you that this lad is just. And also, he's not given a wide, he's not given a no ball. I know with spinners you don't expect no balls. Not given a single wide away in these ball 60 deliveries. That's just amazing accuracy, you'd have to say.
Hmm.
And it's not easy to play him. He's been, I think, if you remember 2016 T20 World Cup as well, right? The only spinner who actually troubled India on that wicket, made Indian batters look like, school children playing cricket at that point in time. I mean, the likes of Rohit Sharma, Suresh Raina, all these guys struggled playing against him. People are very good against spin. So there's something about him. He doesn't have a lot of weapons in his arsenal, but whatever he's got, he keeps it simple. He sticks to the basics, and it just works for him.
Absolutely, you're right in pointing out, Mitchell Sandner's guile, his perseverance in terms of getting a wicket is just outstanding. He keeps at one length and he tries to make batters to make the mistakes, and more often than not, batters fall for it because it's a limited overs game. They have to take risk at some stage. You can't let Mitchell Sandner operate at 3.4, 3.5 runs an over and just get away with it, because at times you have to attack, and that's where Mitchell Sandner has had his fair share in terms of picking up wickets. And today he once again showed in tougher conditions, under lights, when there was slight dew around as well, how potent he can be against a quality batting attack who plays spin quite comfortably. But on top of all this, I think one thing which we are less appreciating is Rohit Sharma's start once again. If not for Rohit Sharma giving us that
Yeah.
really good start, maybe we would have struggled towards the latter end once again. I mean, his 40s have been so invaluable for us. I know he's been playing for the team, he's been scoring at a really good rate just to make sure that India isn't put under any trouble. And today, once again, making sure Matt Henry or Trent Bolt doesn't get any wickets up top. And to add to that, the way in which he was attacking them. I know he gave away a couple of chances here and there, but the fact of the matter is his intent is very clear. Let me take on the bowling and let me transfer the pressure on the opposition.
Yeah, I mean, the way he's playing, right? I mean, if you look at the power play and the run rate throughout the stages, right? India won the power play quite easily. It was 2 wickets for I think 34, if I'm not wrong, for New Zealand, and India was 63 odd in the power play itself, and without losing a wicket. Credit has to be given to Rohit Sharma. He took down the bowlers, did not allow them to ball the right lengths, even a Trent Bolt. I think Trent Bolt today, I think Indian, both Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma got back at Trent Bolt today, because they played him really well. They did not allow him to settle down on a length. And I know Virat Kohli came into face Trent Bolt after the first 10 overs, but even then, much more credit to Rohit Sharma. I think the kind of innings he's been playing for us kind of reminds me of Virendra Sehwag in 2011, right? Very similar style of play. Used to come and try and make the ball soft as possible for the other batters to follow, and used to put the pressure right back on the likes of the opposition. And Rohit Sharma is following a very similar style, albeit a little modern, where he's hitting a little bit more sixes. But yeah, very, very similar style, and that's just helping India as well. It's also helping someone like Shubman Gill settle down. And I think today I just felt like he slightly missed out. But yeah, I mean, even then, the kind of starts that Rohit Sharma has been providing is just helping the team overall. I mean, without saying anything else, I think he's just been that phenomenal batter for us up top, and any bowling team is right back on the back foot.
Absolutely. But if we spoke about some of the big performers, I think it'd be just unfair if we don't talk about Daryl Mitchell enough. I mean, once again, proving how good a middle order bat he is for this New Zealand team. I mean, his innings was impeccably outstanding. To be very fair, you don't see a lot of players come from New Zealand, come to India and dominate spin like the way he has done in this World Cup.
Yeah.
And he's so confident. He's such a busy player that the moment he walked into 19 for 2, he made things happen. If any other player would have been there, they would have been walking under pressure. It could have only gotten worse, but he made sure he kept the scoreboard ticking. He took on Kuldeep Yadav. That really put a lot of pressure on Kuldeep Yadav. He did not let Jadeja settle at any point, and he was well take on the ballers at all the stage. I know he got a couple of lives here and there, but his bravery was absolutely impeccable today, and that's what needs to be appreciated. And I personally think he's one of the best middle order bats out there in this World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, I think if there's one comparison you can think of, it's Heinrich Klaasen. I mean, I think Heinrich Klaasen is a much more destructive player. But if you look at the impact that he has, right, and I think Daryl Mitchell today is the reason why they reached 270 odd. He carried the team till the 49th over, made sure, that he was the backbone of the team. And like you rightly mentioned, you went after Kuldeep Yadav, the best bowler in this World Cup for India. He scored 43 of 28 against him, striking at 153. And what he did really well was the dot ball percentage, right? Only 32 percentage dots. And if you look at Kuldeep Yadav, that's one thing that he does really well. He balls a lot of dot deliveries, and it's very difficult for you to score. I think a boundary here or there. Still, it's possible against Kuldeep Yadav to ensure that you don't play dots against him. That's the tougher part, and for him to be able to manage that so seamlessly, I think that just shows the kind of quality he has been building as a as a batter, and the fact that he's not afraid to take bowling down. But what I really liked about him even was also the kind of deliveries he chose. Right, he played a lot of those shots down the ground. There were a lot more fuller end deliveries, and the reason for that is because Kuldeep was forced to bowl full, as Daryl Mitchell was looking so comfortable on the back foot. I mean, Kuldeep
Yeah,
likes to push batters on the back foot, but for the first time, you saw that Daryl Mitchell did not mind being on the back foot. He did not
not just that, he
really
used the
worry about
reverse
it,
sweeps
and
as
he played
well,
the
which
ball away.
really put Kuldeep
Yeah.
away because Kuldeep did not expect a batter to be playing reverse sweeps with such elegance, and he was timing it more often than not. And that's one of the reasons why Kuldeep had to shift to that seam up deliveries on a couple of occasions. And the second time around, Darren Mitchell knew he was going to ball seam up, and he waited for it, and he just guided the ball for the four. But that's where I personally, even not just Darren Mitchell, even Rachin Ravindra was looking extremely comfortable against spin. I mean, we have to give him also enough credit because he's looked really good in this World Cup. And against a quality Indian bowling attack, I know he also is another player who got chance early on, but he has been extremely good against spin and both pace. I mean, he looks like with alongside Darren Mitchell, they've been both making some good partnerships throughout this World Cup, and they've been both complementing each other as well in different situations.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rachin Ravindra is well. He's much more a subcontinent player, I would say, than a New Zealand player. You don't see the kind of risky shots that he plays, or the kind of angles that he creates with a player who's from New Zealand or who's from Oceania for that matter. But then there's this thing about him, right? He's a classy, stylish left-hand player, something that we haven't seen in a long time. I think a lot of the left-handers we have in the modern world are just brutish. They love smashing. I think the kind of probably Chris Gale, David Miller, brutish, power-based players. Rachin Ravindra, after a long time, I think probably after I'm not comparing him to the likes of Sangakkara in no matter what, but the way he plays, right, is a classical, stylish left-hand batter. The kind of batters who play a cover drive or a cut or a flick through the mid-on region, and we all just sit down and say, "Wow!" I think that's the kind of player he is. He really, if he improves, as he grows into his own skin, I think he can become one of the modern greats for New Zealand if he just continues growing the way he is.
How conveniently has Jaren ignored Bradman Imamulak over there and calling Rachin Ravindra with Sangakkara? How are we?
I
How are we
think
even keeping
Imamul
that
Imamul
going
Haq
on?
has got it in him, but
Hey, he's got he's
I
got the
genuinely
dog in
don't
him.
think.
He's got the
I
biryani.
think
He's
with
got the dog in
Pakistan,
him. That's
right?
what it's all
If
about.
you're a
You know,
Pakistani batter, if you're a Pakistani batter, you just need to have a thick skin, a really thick skin, because these
oh,
guys are
he's
not.
got a very thick skin. I'm not kidding. Quite literally.
I mean to say mentally though, and I think he gets affected a lot by the crowd, a lot.
He's a don.
Sure,
That's what it
sure,
is. He's
sure.
absolutely. He's a don. Don Imam. Don Imamulak. That's what the name. If there's king, then there's Don Imam. So
That's
that's how
that's
we go
definitely
about
not
it.
what the fans call him, but sure, we'll call him that. Imam,
We'll
if you're
call him Don
listening,
Imam.
We'll call you Don.
We are your biggest fans. I'm very
Yeah,
disappointed that
sure.
Jen conveniently ignored some, Imam and said, Rachin Ravindra is the only left-hander to have come out of the generation. Greatest left-hander of the generation is Imam Ulaq by a long margin. And लोग जो भी पर्ची वर्ची लोग
I
बोल रहे
think
हैं
it was
बंद करो.
beyond.
He is not a super
Uh-huh.
पर्ची. He is the greatest पर्ची of all time. He's a great batter. So that's what I want to say. जो भी है, ठीक है. I'll take some Kapil Verma comments because I think it'll be very disappointing if I don't take his comments because he's been commenting from the start of the live. So I'll take one by one. Negative things of today's game was drop catches. I absolutely agree to you.
Yeah,
Your combination is like Jay Viru, Sachin Sehwag, Gilchrist Hayden. Oh, thank you so much. Very deadly.
that means a lot.
Rachin means
Uh,
Rahul Prasarjan. He played well. Yeah, he did play well, and it's always nice to play in front of Rahul Dravid as well. And he's done that in front of
yeah,
Rahul Dravid in Kanpur once. So I think he got his impressive. And guess what?
I think both the
Rachin,
Ravindras had a good game today.
yeah, Ravindra was dropped by Jadeja. That had to be, that had to be, just had to be. So New Zealand looks like the best bowling team in and with their fielding. Yeah, absolutely. New Zealand looks like the best bowling attack of
And
this
I mean,
tournament because that is
considering the
complemented by
fact
the
that they
fielding.
only have, yeah, I mean, considering the fact that they only have one specialist spinner, Rachin Ravindra bowled beautifully today. I know he went for a few runs here and there, but you expect that from a part timer. I think introduction of Glenn Phillips is where they kind of slipped up that match because I think the Indian batters felt a lot more comfortable against him, especially Virat Kohli. But aside from them, I think Rachin Ravindra and that's the reason why I say that, right? Because not often you see in today's generation of players that a top order bat who can ball. Now, the biggest worry for New Zealand and for Rachin Ravindra is what happens, in the future, right? On he has to work on both the skills, but obviously there's one skill that he might have to work on a lot more. That's the one pressure I think in all rounder fields most often than not, especially in today's generation where you have so much scrutiny on every aspect of your game, whether it be bowling or batting. So there's a lot to work on if you have to stay relevant, and it's going to be interesting to see how Rachin Ravindra becomes. I think he's got the potential to be the second spinner for New Zealand, and they really need one in both the formats, right? In red ball and white ball.
When is India's next match in against? So India's playing next Sunday, so you have 7 days break to watch India play. They play against England in Lucknow,
Yeah.
so that's a long break. And yeah, to be very fair, that's going to be an interesting game because it all depends on how England is faring up at that point of stage as well. I think England are playing Australia before that. I'm not sure because New Zealand will be staying back in Dharamshala to play Australia. That's an interesting game as well. Before the Australia plays Bangladesh, then New Zealand, then England. So there's a
No, I
lot of
think England
games
are
which is going
playing
to be
Sri
coming up.
Lanka and Chinnaswamy, so that'll give them a lot of confidence, I think.
Yeah.
Chinnaswamy is one ground they'll enjoy.
Absolutely. And that's where they can actually get back the net run rate, all they've lost. But you never know.
Oh,
With
yeah.
Chinnaswamy, both their teams are on equal footing. You get nullified to a large extent as well. So, Abel looks like Rachin Ravindra, not going to lie,
I've
guys.
said this. I've literally said this to Abel before that he looks like Rachin Ravindra. He's got that jawline and everything. Yeah, he is our Rachin Ravindra. I think with the black shirt on now, you genuinely look like Rachin Ravindra.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm from Bangalore as well, guys.
He's to
Legit
Bangalore
now.
as well. Yeah,
So, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
he is a
It is
don
all part of.
now.
He's the
Yeah,
No,
guys.
there's only
He
one
was
now.
drinking coke yesterday. I mean, I don't see anything today, Abel.
Oh, it's there. It's there. It's just lime tea today.
There we go.
We're just detoxing from last night's coke. We're just detoxing from last night's coke, if you know what I mean.
I, I,
So
I don't know if you
that's
should
what it
say
is.
if you know what I mean. It just adds to what we speculated yesterday.
Oh, there's nothing which you speculated. If you can't drink Pepsi, then what's the whole point? So I think we're
It
not
was
going to
cool.
that discussion again. India stays top with unbeaten streak in the World Cup. When is Jaren going to come back and do the
Oh,
live
Kapil,
again?
there's a bit of a sad news. Abel has graduated and he's left the room, which means the room is empty. It's just mine now.
Yes, sir. Jaren is going to bring in all the people he wants now. So if you know what I mean,
It's
Jaren's lights
as if
now
I
going to
had
be
people
loud.
to bring in before, but yeah, sure. I'll try to
Copy
honor
that.
the tradition.
Yes, there's no tradition created by me. So now India stays on top with unbeaten streak in the World Cup. Yeah, I agree because I think for India now, if they win a couple of matches, they're in the World Cup semi-final for sure. But India would want to continue this momentum against England, then Sri Lanka, South Africa, and Netherlands. That's 4 more games, guys. It's a long tournament now. It's a long tournament.
Yeah, I mean,
India
they've
will
got
be playing the
South
last
Africa
game
as well.
in
I think
20 days time.
South Africa is going to be the biggest challenge as well, considering the fact that I think they're playing South Africa on a much flatter
I think
wicket. I
we're
think it's
way too
Wankhede.
far fetched at this point. We'll go one game at a time. That's
It's
England
Eden
next.
Gardens, but yeah.
It's Eden Gardens. When is the pros graduation? We'll do something about it. We'll do something about it. We'll do something about it. We'll definitely do something about it.
I
But
mean, Abel's graduated. I haven't, so yeah.
yeah, to be very fair, yeah, he's a young boy in the first year of college, so he has got a long way to go. Will South Africa going to be harder for India? I think South
I think just
Africa
the
will
same
be a
level.
challenge. Definitely will be a
I think
challenge. But
a
it all
different
depends on where South
flavor of a
Africa is
challenge.
at that point of stage.
There's going to be a different flavor of challenge for sure. Not, it's not
Are
going
you
to be the
talking
same
about the different
challenge.
flavor of the white color drink you just drank, or the different flavor challenge?
It's water. It's transparent. It's water. Come
What else
on.
starts with "wo" in
Come.
white?
It's water, guys. It's aqua.
Wo.
I'm a Ronaldo fan. I don't like Coke and stuff. I shun Coke. Drink aqua. Be hydrated.
Yeah, I agree with you. Because one factor which I always agree is South Africa and India will all depend on the nature of the tournament at that point of the stage. Where South
Yeah.
Africa is, what does South Africa have to do to get into semifinals, or are South Africa better placed to get into semifinals, or have they both qualified by then? So a lot of these factors will chip in by then. So that's where that game is going to be interesting. Maybe India might just rest a lot of players as well. Remember, by then India will know whether they've qualified or not. India wouldn't want to
Yeah.
take a risk of playing a player there or get
I
them
think
injured.
two more matches and India are through. So then they'll will look at some kind of experimentation. Hoping that Hardik Pandya is back though, because today we saw one thing that if you lose or on these kind of tricky chases, you need that extra batter. At the end of the day, because if Jadeja had gotten out at that point in time, for whatever reason, India would have genuinely struggled. So
Yeah. So is Beckham and Rooney. I know you're a United fan, so it's okay. It's actually Beckham and Rooney. To be very fair, they've been better as a duo together. They never played together. They never played together. So I think I'd say the best duo forever is has.
was it like
How did
Beckham?
Ronaldo and Messi even come in over here?
I
What are
It
you
was
even
because of
talking
my
about?
aqua comment.
Oh please, I don't even know. I was confused for a moment. Like, where are you even going? New Zealand was an India World Cup final. Interesting point there. I mean, do
Possible,
you
very
reckon
much. Yeah.
this can be a World Cup final as well? It all depends, to be very honest, as
Yeah.
to whether
I
who plays
mean,
who in the semi-final.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you look at it as of now, if you look at the table right now, right, and most likely the way the two teams are playing, until and unless either one of the teams, really messes up the next few matches, you expect both of them to top the table, one of them being first and the other being second. When that happens, obviously they play separate semifinals, and then in that case, it is very much on the cards. Like,
I
not at all
still
an
think
absurd. Yeah.
it could
Yeah, yeah.
possibly be South Africa and New Zealand semi-final, and whoever wins that
Australia,
Australia
India.
game, because South Africa will definitely go up off New Zealand if they win the next game. That is against, I know who they're playing next. I think they're playing Bangladesh. No, they're playing Bangladesh, aren't they? South
Yeah,
Africa,
they're playing Bangladesh in Wankhede. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So they're playing Bangladesh next, which is gonna be South Africa's game to lose. To be very fair, because in Wankhede, I think
yeah.
South Africa are a potent force, and then they play Pakistan. So by the time they defeat Bangladesh, there they go on top of the table, go on top of New Zealand, and they'll wait for how things go for the New Zealand versus, I think New Zealand versus who they play. They play Australia. So that's gonna be an interesting game because remember New Zealand haven't really won against Australia in these ICC tournaments. It's another
And
jinx
probably
which
this is
New
the
Zealand
best
carries there.
time for them to go ahead and win. New Zealand are in a very good form. Australia, they are climbing up the ladder, but they're yet to beat a big boy. And so that obviously means New Zealand have a very good chance, considering the fact that I think both the teams are very much equally placed as well in Indian conditions. They both have
Yeah.
got one
But
spinner, Adam
to be
Zampa and
very
Mitch Santner
fair
doing
for
well.
Australia as well, I think they'll pick up a
Yeah.
winning momentum by then. They'll be playing Netherlands before that. They'll slightly be on a winning
Hmm.
run before they face New Zealand. And that's going to be a very interesting game in Dharamshala.
Yeah.
If you're going to see something like this with Stark and Hazelwood and Zampa there, I think it's going to be a very, very interesting game on the offering. So it all depends. Next 1 week, you might just see top four change the positions here and there. Maybe India might remain number one, but others around India, might just slip down. And tomorrow's game as well, Pakistan Afghanistan is going to be very interesting for that matter because if Pakistan has a bad game there, it is going to be pretty interesting as to how things are going to be. So I've got someone send me a particular edit of me and Rachin Ravindra. Should I display it or not?
Yeah, yeah.
Are you sure about it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, why
I
not?
wish
Here
I
we
had
go.
done that. Shit. I just realized I could have. Yeah. But it's all right. Whoever did that smart enough.
Yeah, that's
Who
pretty
did
quick
it?
though. I
Who
don't
did
want to reveal
it?
names, but yeah, someone just made reveal the pretty much.
Yeah. See, that's Abel Ravindra, brother of Rachin.
Okay, his cousin has taken care of that. Yeah, it's Joe. So that's one thing. Uh,
Great job,
Pakistan was
Joshua.
South Africa. Yeah, that was very quick, very very quick.
I think if
Wait,
Abel had a brother, it would be Rachin Ravindra. Like, not a cousin. You did your parents ever go to Kumbh Mela?
you guys, stop it right now. This is extending to different things right now. Can we just stop it right now? Rachin
Did you
Ravindra,
ever
big
travel to
fan,
New
man, big
Zealand?
fan. Can we just send this to Rachin Ravindra and get him on the show right here?
Yeah.
Rachin, big
I
fan.
think we have him on the show. I think it'll be
You know,
tough
the
for us
day
to
Rachin plays for
get him
Bangalore, I'll
on.
become a bigger fan. Rachin deserves to play for RCB. Don't you also know
You know
that?
how you have those guys dress up as Kohli or dress up as Sunil Narayan and go to the stadium?
Bro,
I think
you
it's
can
time.
upset Rachin Ravindra fan. The boy has played what 5 one-day internationals, but yeah, I can create a fan page for him if you want.
Yeah,
Pakistan South Africa, Pakistan England is going to be when Pakistan South Africa 27th, Pakistan England is the last game they play. That's on 12th or 13th of November. So that's the last game.
Park was
But
South
before
Africa's
all that,
27.
yeah, 27th. But before all that,
Yeah.
Pakistan Afghanistan, the greatest rivalry in the history books tomorrow. And that's what's going to decide for Pakistan's feud fortunes as
Yeah,
well.
I think
So
someone had asked
Pakistan
this
Fork
question,
is
right? When is the
tomorrow.
next match? That's the next big match. I'll be very frank. I know it sounds ridiculous when we say it, but the fans, it means a lot to
Look at the
Afghanistani fans to
conditions.
beat
It's like
Pakistan.
Afghanistan's fortress, where
Yeah.
a lot of spin might happen in Chennai, and they're going to be like bowling them out. It's going to be very interesting because
I would
Pakistan
love to
is under
see them
tremendous
play
pressure.
Noor Ahmed
Yeah,
just because of the way Pakistan generally tends to struggle against, some quality leg spin. So maybe,
yeah.
maybe just throw in a Noor Ahmed there.
I think Afghanistan bat first score maybe closer to 280, 270, or maybe even
Yeah.
250 for that matter. Use Rashid, Mujib, Noor, Nabi. I think Pakistan are in serious trouble later on. I'm not saying Pakistan won't win, but they can trouble them a big way. Remember, Afghanistan will get a lot of confidence. I would have gotten a lot of confidence after that England win. I know they made a very bad mistake of bowling second or bowling first against New Zealand. That was the biggest mistake they did. Other than that, I thought they were really good even against New Zealand in terms of picking up those wickets, and they just lost the plot somewhere or the other. Yeah, Afghanistan versus Pakistan means 5 versus 5. Absolutely, this is one of the games to watch out for. Nobody's talking about it enough.
Absolutely.
I think this is
I
one
mean,
of the games to watch out
the
for.
series was hotly fought. I think I never expected Afghanistan to put up a fight against Pakistan. Okay, where am I surprised? We all expected Afghanistan to put up a fight. But then I think, remember the last time as well when they played in the Asia Cup? There were, I think Asia Cup was it, or was it the World Cup, where both the fans as well fought with each other. Naveenul Haq and Fazalak Farooqi fought with, I think it was Asif Ali. I think it was the World Cup. No, it was the
Yeah,
Asia
it
Cup.
was
It was
it
the
was a
Asia
World
Cup.
Cup. It was a T20 World Cup,
It was a T20 World Cup, yeah. So
right?
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of tension there between those two teams. I think India, Pakistan are a lot more. The players are a lot more friendly
Yeah,
with each
last year
other.
Asia Cup as well. Last year Asia Cup and
Yeah,
T20 World Cup 2021 as well was one of them.
I think it started in Asia Cup, carried on to the World Cup, and I'm sure even though Asif Ali is not there, there'll be some words that'll be exchanged there as well. So India,
Yeah.
Pakistan, the
Who's the
players
goat,
are
Babar or
friendly.
Virat? Who's the goat, Babar or Virat? I think one is a goat, that is Virat. Another is a sheep, that is Babar. That's it. So
Why right there? I noticed.
so that's pretty much it. And I can just explain it right there. Who's a sheep, who's a goat. On that note, we're ending this live. That there would have been no better comment to end this live than talking about who's a goat, who's a sheep. Thank you, Babar Azam. Thank you, everybody. Bobby Bacha, KJ. That's it. Bobby Bacha, greatest ever to have played the played game. Aisha is here. Look at the timing, right? Look at the timing. Look at the timing. That's what we're talking about. That's what Aisha was just talking about. Why Babar Azam is the greatest I ever stepped on a cricket
I
field.
think
If you don't
she just
go back,
appeared
but
to
just listen.
defend.
Even just making fun of goat and sheep. Yes, I think I didn't make fun of goat, but I did make fun of sheep because sheep tends to do better. Sheep deserves better respect. But against Nepal, against Nepal is the best cricket team in the world, to be very honest. So
I
we're
mean,
not
I
talking
think
about.
we should also talk about how he smashed. I think I keep coming back to it. One of his greatest innings against Australia, where he smashed David Warner, Manas Labuschagne. So he can play against the big team guys as long as the big ballers aren't balling.
They're number one batters in the world. They're number one players. They're legends. बाबर का बुरा
आयशा
टाइम चल
हर
रहा
वर्ल्ड
है.
कप में
अरे
बाबर का बुरा टाइम
अरे
शुरू हो
छोड़ दे
जाता है
यार.
तो
आप 21 इनिंग्स में मल्टीनेशनल टूर्नामेंट में 400 कुछ 400 कितने 480 रन बनाएंगे. उसमें 100
आई थिंक आपके
कितना
आपके
कितना बनाया
यहाँ
उसने
आपके
नेपाल
मुल्क
के
से
खिलाफ 100 170 100 कुछ कितना बनाया
150 माने
नेपाल के खिलाफ 140 कुछ बनाया ना. So just
हाँ
take
हाँ
out the 140 150 he scored against Nepal. He has scored 482 runs in 21 innings in multinational tournaments the last 4-5 years.
I think
Well,
ever
that's a
since
good.
I think Imad
And
Wasim.
Mr. Virat Kohli alone has scored 400 runs in this World Cup. So there's your answer.
Yeah, I mean,
There's your
Imad
answer.
Wasim himself said that Babar hasn't played a big knock since I think that 100 against New Zealand was it? Which country? I don't remember.
Yes.
In the last
Yes,
year's
yes,
World Cup.
yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, so guys, he's a serious player. He scored 100 against the runners up. So don't underestimate.
What did Virat Kohli do? Virat Kohli got up for one in that World Cup against New Zealand.
Yeah.
So
Virat Kohli didn't score 100 against New Zealand today.
yeah, yeah. Who's
Bobby
better?
Batsha wins. Bobby Batsha
Bobby
wins.
Batsha wins and Virat loses. So you
Yeah.
know who the sheep and goat is. I
Exactly.
hope whatever helps you sleep at night will help you sleep at night hearing this. Good night and have a good time. Bye bye.
Good